is up, you all? It's your host Brandon, and today we're going to be spoiling Scream 7 and explaining everything in Scream 7 right here in this video. But before we get started, definitely smash the like button and make sure you turn on them noti bells so you'll be notified every time I drop another video like this. So to get into everything with Scream 7, this entry in the franchise has a lot of the fans torn down the middle, just like I said it would. It's a very divisive film. Some people are literally hating this movie. They're saying it's the worst. Rotten Tomatoes is like 40%. And then you got people that are loving it and, you know, just enjoying everything that happened in the film and saying it's one of the best ones that we got. So yeah, definitely split down the middle. But to get into this, obviously with me, I'm just in the middle with it. I feel like it is a decent Scream movie. It's a decent entry. Is it the worst? No, it's not the worst. But the reveal with the killers is definitely probably the worst. It's probably for sure the worst Ghostface reveal we've got, with the worst motives. I think that by far, yeah, I'm thinking about the motives and the reveals, and just seeing Anna Kemp be revealed as Ghostface. Well, Jessica Bolden, yeah, her character, remember I told y'all I guessed her. I said it. I thought she was going to be Leslie Mocker, but she wasn't. She was just some random woman, a neighbor of Sidney Prescott's, that was obsessed with her books. It kind of felt like the story Misery with Kathy Bates. She's just obsessed with Sidney's book Out of Darkness. She said that it actually helped her with the situation where we find out that Jessica ended up killing her husband. I want to say that they said she was like in an abusive relationship or something like that, but she ended up taking out her husband, and Sidney's book Out of Darkness helped her. And then eventually she ends up getting better in life because she ends up getting admitted herself to the Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital. She gets better from my knowledge, or at least halfway, because she ends up being a Ghostface killer. But she decides, okay, every time I look at Sidney Prescott, since she helped me, you know, with this situation, I have to really erase history, like take the whole situation away, being that Sidney Prescott was the author of this book. So now that my husband's gone and she helped me take out my abusive husband or whatever, now Sidney, you have to go with it. Like, it's just like a mental thing. So the whole thing with the Ghostface killers, it was basically about mental patients. Like, because we find out that she ends up meeting at Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital Ethan Embry's character Marco, and I knew it was something fishy about him. First off, with that haircut definitely, I was like, oh yeah, but I didn't really think he was Ghostface. My pick was Anna Kemp and Asa Gurman, but we seen that she ends up taking out her own son because she said he was nothing but like just weight on her shoulders. So she ended up taking out her own son, which was dark. But yeah, she was loony. She was definitely loony. She tried to have like that Jill mixed with Stu vibe, mixed with Mickey a little bit, and I think she was performing well. I just think the motive was not written well. Like, I could care less about the killers, because I feel like once they revealed the motive, it was like, okay, especially compared to the other ones. And Marco ends up, you know, being involved because him and Jessica, played by Anna Kemp, they ended up getting cool at Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital. They ended up getting cool just because they're in the same, like, you know, building, obviously, and they ended up setting this whole thing up where they become Ghostface, and we find out that he was like some type of computer technician. So that's how the AI thing started with Stu Macher, and we see Dewey eventually and Mrs. Loomis, which was cool. I was afraid about that, so I'm like, okay, maybe this scene is going to be too much, but I actually liked how they did it. And I'm not going to lie, I like that you can tell they try to make it seem like it was AI, but in reality, that was actually Matthew Lillard in those roles on them phone screens with makeup on for like Scream 7 to make it look like, you know, he has the scratches in his face from the TV falling on him. I think that it was cool to show that he actually was just AI, but it actually looked real, like it was really Stu. I was kind of convinced, like when they said AI was going to be involved, I thought we were going to be able to tell like some glitches or something. No, it was a fluid just movement from Stu Macher and just seeing him on screen. So I really liked that they kind of incorporated him in the story, but in the back of our head we know he was gone. So then another thing is that guy we seen at the, I forget his name, but he was the mental patient that gets hit by the car that was Ghostface. Also, he was the first Ghostface to get took out. Remember, he's the one that's in Sidney Prescott's house, stabbing the wall, trying to get to Tatum. But we seen at the little latte, he came in there and Sidney looked at him like, okay, who are you? But one thing I will say, I liked what they did with Scream 7. The Ghostface in Scream 7 was the most brutal we've ever got Ghostface. Like, he was literally on Arthur Clown's level. A lot of the kills that we got was wild. That kill with Lucas' character, Asa Gurman, when he gets put on like the drink, the thing that dispensed the drinks and it's going in his head, that was crazy, and it comes out of his mouth. It does look a little CGI a little bit, but that was crazy. I liked where Hannah gets the guts poured out of her stomach because Ghostface is literally treating like a pinata. And then I really did enjoy the first one. I loved Scott's kill also in the opening of Scream 7. Ghostface gets the knife and then he puts it in his temple. You see his eye and everything. That was crazy. But the opening definitely did it for me. I love the animatronic touch. And one minute we thought it was an animatronic, next minute Ghostface steps in play and takes out Michelle Randolph's character. I really did enjoy it. I think that it was a lot of things in this that was callbacks to the original without doing too much. Yeah, it had a lot of cheesy dialogue and some of the stuff felt flat in the dialogue that they were saying. I definitely felt that a lot in certain scenes, and I feel like they had some stupid ass decisions. Like, they even put Sidney, I love Sidney Prescott to death, but it was some things she was doing. It's like, come on now. And Tatum, I was like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like for example, it was like, I think it was like the same when she's like, you gotta shoot him in the head. She's just sitting there on GTA, but she's just sitting there procrastinating. Like, come on, what are you doing? And then yeah, it was just a lot of stupid decisions, but they got me because I dead ass thought Asa Gurman was legit Ghostface. I thought he was Ghostface, bro. The Lucas character, I liked how he was obsessed with Sidney, but they had a lot of red herrings in here where you thought they were Ghostface, next minute they're not. You know, I loved Mark Evans' character played by Joel McHale as the police officer, whatever. I really enjoyed that. But for the most part, what carried this movie for me was Ghostface. Like, just seeing his performance, seeing like basically like the Halloween kills of the franchise. This is by far the most brutal we've ever seen him. The ending, I feel like the ending is what everybody's complaining about, which I agree. Like, the ending is kind of but the first act great, second act great, and then the ending it doesn't hit for me, but it does have some good parts. Like that part with Anna Camp is Jessica, where they like, you see Tatum and Sidney Prescott and they're literally pew-pewing her face off. I'm like, oh, that's brutal, but it kind of felt over the top. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things felt over the top and just corny. Okay, that's the perfect word to say. Some things just felt a little too corny. And yeah, overall though, this is not the worst Scream movie. I feel like that it definitely has the worst reveal. That's the best way to say it, because it's a lot of things that was done well, and I feel like if the reveal was good, a lot of people would be praising this movie. It's just the reveal, which I get, because the reveal is why we go to the theater to see this movie, plus the characters, so it kind of hurts it from certain angles. I'm just happy that they finally gave Ghostface that moment. So it's kind of like, my opinion on this movie is probably a little different from people, because I went to see a Ghostface that I've never seen before. I liked how they added some modern things to it to make it feel like a today Scream movie instead of like back in the day. They did, you know, give us some things from the first Scream, the second Scream that I enjoyed. I love Sidney Prescott in the mama bear role, basically trying to protect her daughter, telling her, I try to keep you away from this, but it only made you vulnerable, you know. And Tatum just curious. She wants to be the next Sidney Prescott. Like at the end when Sidney, they say something to each other, and then Tatum says, I'm Sidney Prescott's fucking daughter. Like, it was so cringe. It made me like just grit my teeth, man. Like, what the hell, bro? But for the most part, yeah, the dialogue and stuff was cheesy, but to be honest, Scream movies has always had cheesy dialogue, like, in my opinion, so I was used to it. But it did get a little cheesier in this one. But for me, I think what makes me kind of just treat it as a fair Scream movie is that Ghostface did his thing, man, and Sidney Prescott, you know what I'm saying? So it's fair, and I feel like Scream 7 is literally just like decent to okay for me, like decent to okay. I definitely feel though they didn't learn from Scream 6 with them reveals with Dermot, Ethan, and Quinn, because I feel like the reveal that we got with Jessica and Marco, I feel like those are equal to that type of reveal. And that's why Scream 6 ended up being one that I really don't get into for real, because the movie's decent. And I like it, but once you get to that reveal, it just loses me. Like, what is going on? And another thing, they did that again when their mom was like, you fuck with my family, you die. They did that again kind of with Anna Camp as Jessica when the whole situation happened where they find the Ghostface, the mental patient or whatever, and then they got the police at Sydney's house. Remember, Jessica goes up there with her son Lucas, and they're talking to Sydney, and they're just going back and forth. He's like, "Can you come on?" Like talking about his podcast to Sydney, and she's just like, "Just let's go, let's get from over here. Just make sure that you don't come over here. It's too much going on over here." It just felt too pick me. Also, when she went into the little latte and she was talking to Sydney, they was having that one-on-one. I'm like, yeah, she's definitely a Ghostface. Like even if she wasn't Leslie Mocker, you could tell that Anna Camp was definitely Ghostface. Now, I'm going to tell you one that definitely it got me off guard was Ethan Embry's character. Only thing that kind of made me feel like he was or something. And the reason I said he wasn't because they didn't show him too much. And I'm like, why would he be Ghostface? He's just a character. So that's why I'm saying that the reveal was shitty to me, because you go into Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital and they're asking questions about this patient that escaped and became Ghostface, and then they're like, yeah, it's a guy down the hall, his name is John Doe. And it's like, we're talking about Stu Macher, calling him John Doe. Okay, you go into this random room that's clean as hell. It's super clean. Ain't no posters, no drawings, no nothing. So I'm like, okay, that's super weird. It's folded up sheets, and no one lived in that room. And then we found out that he was Ghostface with Jessica, and they were like going back and forth like, it was my choice to use Ghostface and AI, not yours. And it whole time it just made sense. Like, okay, they're just fanned out at this point. They're just two Kathy Bates from Misery. That's the best way to put the Ghostface reveal. They're two Kathy Bates from Misery, and they're just obsessed. Well, not obsessed, but I could say Jessica was with the Out of Darkness book for Sydney, and she just felt like she had to delete Sydney's whole life to move on with hers. That's the best way I could put it together, man, with the reveal. I feel like Ghostface was trying to take everybody out in this movie, though. Everybody was getting took out. Asa Gurman, he damn near killed the whole cast. I'm not gonna lie. When you think about it, Ghostface damn near killed the whole cast, bro. Sam Rackner got cooked. Asa Gurman, boy, I ain't gonna lie, nobody was safe. But I will say I did like the scene where they were showing Mrs. Loomis. At first I thought I wasn't gonna like it. It was cool, and just how they showed Stu worked for me in my opinion. But I did feel like they were using him a little too much for him not to be in a movie. Like I feel like they could have used him like 2 times and that was it. But it was like segments damn near. Stu Macher, hello Sydney, he's talking about Tatum. And I'm like, okay, y'all kind of overusing Stu a little bit, but I liked it, seeing Stu on camera. Yeah, a lot of things did feel random in Scream 7, but for the most part, like I said, the best way to put it, it's a fair Scream movie. It's decent, and it's like a one of them stories that feels like it's connected to the first one while also being its own thing and being new and fresh. And this reveal, I will say, I feel that it kind of feels like a Jill type of reveal, but Jill's felt more grounded. She just wanted fame and everything, and she was just tired of Sidney Prescott getting fame off, just the Prescott family. So it kind of feels like that reveal, but it kind of feels like a little more weak. Like it feels like weak because it feels like, okay, you're just a mental patient that was dealing with husband problems, and you're taking it out randomly on Sydney, and now you got a partner from the Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital to decide to work with you, and then y'all use a mental patient to team up, which, see what I'm saying? But the other part of the movie was decent. It was good. I was enjoying it. I'm like, okay, Ghostface, the opening solid. So overall, that's everything explained that I got from it for real. McKenna Grace's character, like her death was wild. A lot of the characters had, some great moments in my opinion. I love Tatum's character though. I did like how I thought she was going to just be a little cheesy character, but whole time, and when the film kicks up, she's like, Mom, you're acting like you're too overprotective. She's standing up against her mom. She's feeling like a real teenager. And then at the end, she finally got her moment. First she was afraid, and then she really got through in the shoes of Sidney Prescott, and she got her moment. And I feel like that, they can keep moving around with that character, Tatum, in the future. She could be like the new Sydney or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like overall, I did have a decent time with this. the reveals, in my opinion, weren't good. They actually just, it was suckish. I think that they could have definitely did more with Jessica's character, and I feel that with her, she did a great performance on Kemp and Jessica, but I think that if they would have wrote the reveal out better to the point where it made sense, and to be honest, Kevin Williamson, you were better off making her Leslie Mocker. Like, I swear, like, you were better off making her Leslie Mocker, Stu Mocker's sister. Asa Gurman was Stu Mocker's nephew, and Ethan Embry was like the boyfriend to her or something. It was, you know what I'm saying? You were better off doing something like that. But even if you ain't have Ethan Embry in there, just simply Leslie Mocker could have been Anna Kent. Like, I think that would have been way more fluid than what we got. What we got felt random as fuck. But yeah, you all, this is my spoiler reviewing everything explained, but I'll probably do like 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 as you think about the reveal a little more and how it was just randomness, but a 7.5 out of 10 is fair. And yeah, man, definitely let me know what y'all think. What's some things that y'all pointed out and what y'all, you know, think about everything with Scream 7? Let me know in the comments. With that being said, I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.